Hey everyone, welcome back to the JavaScript course. So inside this video, we'll be exploring about the JavaScript map, reduce and filter methods. And if you find this interesting, let's get started right away. So in this video, we'll be exploring about the map, filter and reduce methods inside of JavaScript. So inside my VS Code, I've opened up my index file, my style.css file as well as my script.js file. So there is some basic boilerplate code present inside my index file and some basic styling given to the style.css file. And inside my script file, there is some dummy data present and a basic console.log text. Okay, so this data is used as an example to explore about the different methods, that is a map, filter and reduce. Okay, so let's get started with the map method. Okay, so map method pretty much returns a new array for every element from the calling function that is present. Okay, so let's understand map with the help of an example. Okay, so on line number 3 to 9 we have the students array. So inside the students array we have an array of objects. Okay, so each of the object is going to contain certain information, that is basically the first name, the last name and the age and marks. Okay, so pretty much we have different data. So let's say we have a website and then we need to show or list some products. So in that case we can make use of a map and then we can return a whole new component for that. Okay, so firstly let's try to display all the details that is present over here, that is inside the students array. So we're going to say const students data equal to, we're going to access the students and we're going to map through it. Okay, we're going to take the student from the students array. Okay, and we can just console.log for now. Okay, so essentially what we are doing over here is we are mapping through the students array that is present, and for each and every student present inside the students array we are just console.logging that particular value. Okay, so pretty much we are just logging all the values that is present inside the students array. Okay, so let's check out the result. So let's save the file once. Okay, let's come back to our web page over here and let's open up our console. Yeah, so there you go, we are getting 5 objects that is present. Okay, so each of the object is going to contain certain information, that is age, first name, last name and then marks. So since we have 5 kinds of information, that is 5 array of objects inside that particular student array, we are getting 5 correct objects. Okay, so let's say we only want to access the first name. Okay, so for that reason it's going to be student dot first name. Okay, so I don't know why am I putting that semicolon. So save the file. Okay, yeah, so there you go, we are getting all the values, that is John until Virat. Okay, all the names that is present inside the students array. Okay, so let's say we want to convert only the first name to lowercase or uppercase. Okay, so we can just put a dot over here and we have the lowercase method. So we're gonna say to lowercase and save the file. Okay, I think essentially all were in lowercase except the first letter of some words. Okay, so let's try converting it into uppercase by the help of to uppercase method. So save the file. Yeah, so there you go, all the words have been converted into uppercase. So this is the way you try to access a single kind of data inside of an array of an object. Okay, so let's say we want to access just the name, basically the first name and the last name. So it's gonna be student dot first name plus student dot last name. Okay, so we on line number 12 we are just writing student dot first name and giving a space, and then we are accessing the student dot last name. That's the complete name. So let's save the file once and then come back over here. Yeah, so there you go, we are able to access all the full names from that particular array. Okay, so that's the way you access inside map. By making use of the map method, that's the way you access certain values that is present. Let's say we want to access the age, so it's going to be student.age. Okay, so save the file. Yeah, so there you go, we are getting all the values that is the ages from that particular array. So now next move on to the next method, that is the filter method. Okay, so the filter method works on the conditions. Okay, so let's say we are applying a condition where if that condition becomes true, then that particular value is pushed into the array, and if the condition becomes false, we do not touch that element, that is not pushed into the array. Okay, so filter method based works mainly on the conditions. So let's apply the condition and check. Okay, so we're going to say const marks equals to, okay, so the condition is going to be, we are just going to get the student's data. Okay, if the marks of that particular student is greater than 70. Okay, so over here we have only two students, that is the second one and the third one. Okay, because the marks is going to be 75 and 90, so we're going to apply the condition for that and get the correct data, right? So we're going to say const marks equals to a students, and we're going to say dot, we're going to apply the filter method, and for each student present inside our students array, we are going to write the condition, that is student dot marks should be greater than 70. Okay, so this is the way we write the filter method, by applying a particular condition. So on line number 17, we are initializing const marks is equal to students dot filter. We are making use of the filter method, and for each student present inside the students array, we are applying the condition which says student dot marks should be greater than 70. So this condition is going to get applied for the array, and pretty much we should see the marks greater than 70. Only those students are inside the console, that is the second one and the third one, as I told. Okay, so let us console.log the marks. Okay, and save the file. Yeah, so there you go, we have two two array of objects. I mean the size is 2 over here. So if you check out over here, we have 75 and then 90. So that's the way pretty much the filter condition works. Okay, so let's try with one more example. Okay, so let's try with age this time. So let's say const student age equals to, we're going to say students dot filter. So let's see the condition we can apply. Okay, so we're going to apply the condition, that is basically we are trying to access the people, the students whose age is greater than, let's say, 25. Okay, I think we have only one person, that is the third person. So let's try that out. So for every student inside our students array, we're going to access the age whose age is greater than 30, right? So let us console.log our student age. So essentially we should get just one value, that is the third value. Okay, the second value, because that's the one which is greater than 30. Okay, the age is 34. So let's check that out. Yeah, if you check out over here, we are getting the age of 34. Okay, so we can also apply multiple conditions over here with the help of the filter method. So let's check that out. So let's try to access the value, that is the person whose age is greater than 20 and marks should be greater than 70. Okay, so let's try to access that. So const new students equals to, we are going to say students dot filter. Okay, for any particular student that is present inside the filter, in the students array. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to apply two conditions. What I said was student dot age should be greater than 20, and by making use of the and method, we're going to say student dot the next one is going to be marks, it should be greater than 70. Okay, so this is a way by applying two conditions that we want. So basically we are filtering based on two conditions, that is student.age should be greater than 20 and the mark should be greater than 70. Okay, so I think these two are working correctly fine. 234 is the correct answer, because the age is greater than 20 and the marks is greater than 70, right? I think this is not going to work because the marks is equal to 70. We have not applied that. It should be greater than 70. So I think again we're gonna get the second and third option as the correct answer, right? So let's check that out. So we're gonna say console.log new students. Okay, so save the file once. Let's come back to the console. Yeah, so there you go, we are getting just two values, that is the I think the second and third one. Basically this is the correct result. So the age is greater than 20 and the marks is going to be greater than 70. Okay, so that's the way we apply the filter conditions, that is multiple conditions inside of the filter method. So that's the basic understanding and exploring about the filter method. Okay, so the next thing we'll be moving on to is the reduce method. So the reduce method is pretty much going to return us a single value. Okay, so let's say we have a array with us. So let's say const array equals to, okay, let's say we have until 1 to 5. So as I told, the reduce method is going to return us a single value. So this is going to contain something called as the accumulator and the current value. So over here the accumulator is subjected to 0, that is it is initialized to 0, and the current value is each array element that is present inside this array. Okay, so let's say we want to calculate the sum of this array. So calculate the sum of array. Okay, so for this we can make use of the for loop or also by the reduce method. So we'll be looking into the reduce method. So let's say const sum equals to, we're going to say array dot reduce. We'll be making use of the reduce keyword, and as I told, it's going to take in the accumulator and the current value. So what we're going to say is we're going to just say add the accumulator value plus the current value. Okay, so this reduce method is also going to take initial value, let's say 0, because the sum at the initial stage is going to be 0. Okay, so accumulator is initialized to 0 and the current value is subjected to each array element present inside the array, this array, right? So it's pretty much going to add up all the elements and it should give us 5 plus 4 9, and then 12 14 15. It should give us 15 in the result. Okay, so let us check that out. So console.log, let's say sum. Okay, so let us save the file once and check it out. Okay, yeah, so there you go, we are getting 15. So that's because after calculating after initializing the accumulator to 0 and then adding each of the current value, that is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 inside this particular array, we are getting 15 in the result. Okay, so let's actually calculate the sum of all the marks present in the students array. Okay, with the help of the reduce method. So we're going to say const students marks or student marks equals to, we're going to say students dot reduce. Okay, so it's going to take in the accumulator and the current value. Okay, so as I told, accumulator is initialized to 0 initially, so let's pass in that initial 0 value over here, and the operation we're going to do is we're going to say accumulator plus, and current value is subjected to each array element inside the students array. Okay, over here we had just single values, that is 1 2 3 4 5, whereas over here inside the students array we have an object. So the way to access the object is by making use of the dot operator. So we have current dot marks. Okay, so that's the way you access the marks. So it's going to be current dot marks. Okay, so we are trying to just sum up all the marks. It's going to be 60 plus 75 plus 90 plus 70 plus 60. It's going to return that value inside console. Okay, so we're going to say console.log of students marks. Okay, so let's check the value out once. Yeah, so there you go, it's working correctly. It should give us 355. That's the sum of all the marks that is present inside the students array. So that's the way the reduce method works. It's going to return us a single value by taking in the accumulator as well as the current value. So let's try the same thing for the ages, right? So let's say const sum ages equals to, we're going to say students dot reduce. Okay, we're going to take in the accumulator and the current value, and we're going to return pretty much the accumulator plus the current dot age. Okay, and we're going to pass in the initial value of 0. So let's say console.log of some age. Okay, so yeah, it should return as 25 plus 34 plus 30 22 and then 19. So save the file. Yeah, so like it's returning us 130. I think that's the correct one. So yeah, I think that's it about the reduce method. We have explored about the three methods, that is the map filter as well as the reduce method inside of JavaScript, with the help of this example, that is basically filtering out different kinds of data that we want, that is based on age and marks. And finally, in the reduce method, we went and explored about how to calculate the sum of any particular kind of values that is present. Okay, I think that's it about this video. Let's see you in the next video, and then thank you for watching.